After 2 bulks, I never had to bulk ever again. I'm gonna show you all proof, and for some of you, this might be the case. So this is how I looked less than 2 years into lifting. Pretty good shape. This was after a cut actually. And this is me now, 9 years later. God, I put on some solid mass. I almost don't look the same. There are so many debates on whether men gaining or bulking is the better option if you're trying to gain muscle mass. But in my opinion, I do think context matters. Are you new into training? Are you starting off on the skinnier side? Are you starting off on the overweight side? Have you been training for some years and you've bulked in the past? These are factors that matter, and whatever your situation may be, maybe men gaining might be better for you or bulking might be better for you. So I'm going to use myself as an example. I've been training for over 9 years, and I'm going to briefly go through what I did to achieve the physique I have today. So from the very start, I started off on the skinnier side back in 2016. In my opinion, looking back at things, I think I did most things right. I did a correct workout split. I was progressively overloading in the gym. I made sure I was eating in a calorie surplus. I was getting enough protein. I was getting the right recovery. And I did end up doing a hard bulk. I remembered I got very big. I remembered I went back home to see my family, and my dad was like, "Whoa, son, I almost don't recognize you. You look huge." This is how I looked at the end of my bulk after starting in 2016. So I believe this was in 2017. So probably around 8 months after starting, this is how I looked. I got so strong. Guys, I was benching, I think at this point I was almost benching 3 plates. I was deadlifting 5 plates. I was squatting almost 4 plates. I got very strong. As a newbie, if you do most things right, you're gonna put on the majority of your muscle mass within the first 2 to 3 years. So off the rip, I put on, I don't wanna say most of my muscle mass during this first bulk, but I put on quite a bit. So like every gym bro, I did a cut. I remembered I had all this muscle mass, I had all this shreds, and I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna bulk again. So I did a bulk again. I think I did this bulk in 2018 to early 2019. And this is how I looked at the end of my bulk. Holy shit, I looked bigger than I was in my first bulk, obviously, but goddamn, during these first 2 bulks, I would say I put on the majority of my muscle mass. Did I like how I looked here? Probably not. In fact, I have great memory of this bulk. I hated how I looked. I remember my breathing wasn't the best. I was told I would snore when I was sleeping. Mentally and physically, I did not feel good, but during those first 2 bulks, I put on the majority of my muscle mass as a natural. As I said earlier, context matters. I started off on the skinnier side, so I would make the argument that a bulk was necessary. Did I have to bulk this hard? Probably not, but I have no regrets. However, after these 2 bulks, I never bulked again. And looking back at it, I'm glad I didn't, because as I said, after the first 2 to 3 years, you're gonna put on the majority of your muscle mass. I did most things right, so I do remember after this bulk, I did cut back down. And ever since then, I've been men gaining. So for those of you that don't know what men gaining is, it's essentially when you aim for slow weight gain. And with that slow weight gain, you're not gonna get too fat and you're gonna put on muscle, but some would say it's slower, but at this point, after this last bulk, I was just over 3 years of training, and I don't think I would have put on muscle mass at the significant pace I did within those first 3 years. I would say men gaining was necessary for me. If I were to do other hard bulks like I did then, I don't think I would have had any more progress than I do right now. However, there have been many times where I'm out of shape. When I say out of shape, I would say I might be 10 pounds than what I would like to be. My weight never fluctuated too much. For example, right now I'm actually 210 pounds. I'm in really good shape. I've been taking my training and nutrition seriously. So there have been times where I don't take my training or my nutrition not so seriously, and I may lose a little bit of muscle mass and I may gain some extra body fat percentage. But I would say my body fat percentage never went over 18%. Ideally, I like to maintain something around 13%, but me getting out of shape would be when I'm at around 18 to 20% body fat. So ultimately, I do think If you're like me, you started off on the skinnier side, then bulking could be a good route for you to go. If you're just getting into the gym and you're overweight, your body fat percentage is closer to 18 to 20%, bro, you do not need to bulk. You could probably just maintain, make sure you're progressing in the gym, you have a good workout split, you're getting enough protein, your macronutrients are decent. You could lose body fat and gain a muscle mass. Context really does matter a lot because unfortunately for many people who just start off in the gym, they do most things wrong. And let's say you start off on the skinnier side, you do most things wrong. You've been training for 1 to 2 years and you did your research, you found out the right things to do. Maybe a bulk might be necessary for you. At the end of the day, if you're bulking, I really don't think your body fat percentage as a guy should go past 18 to 20%. Once your body fat percentage past 18 to 20%, you're getting to the overweight and slowly to the obese side, and you don't feel so good physically and mentally. Hopefully that makes sense. I've been men gaining ever since late 2019, 2020. There have been times or months during a year where I got out of shape, but I would say my body fat percentage never got super high. For someone who did 2 hard bulks and gained most of their muscle mass at the start of their lifting journey, after doing most things right, I do think a hard bulk is not necessary. Gaining muscle mass as a natural is very hard. So let's say you have me 3 years into lifting versus me 9 years into lifting. 6 years later, I probably put on, let's say, around 10 pounds of muscle mass if I'm lucky, but hopefully you'll get the point. There's no need to do bulking and cutting every single year as a natural. If any of you are interested in online coaching, my link is in the description. I make customized workout programs, customized meal plans, and I do think a big part of the whole coaching process is the accountability portion. So I check up on you every week and you essentially have 24/7 access to me. Serious inquiries only. But that's it for today's YouTube video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like the video if you gain some value from it. I have many YouTube videos that could help you out on my channel, and until next time, peace.